Fisher Oil, what's up? Eating a hot dog or beef stick fake beef? Hot dogs can be nice sometimes. But yeah. I did have a coffee this morning. Later on, have a semi-weekly call with my boss again. Oh no. Is that good or bad? Can't tell if that's good or bad, man. Hope it's good. Hope it's good. Well, it's routine, gotcha. I'm sure it'll be alright, you know? It'll be alright. I'd like to buy a tube of lead white paint, but it's half an hour drive. I went to the local hobby shop the other day for Warhammer stuff, and they didn't have any white paint either. For what I needed, I was very disappointed. It's so annoying because it's like you want to support your like local whatever. You want to support your local whatever, but then like the problem is like they don't have the things you need. It's like I just wasted 40 minutes going there only to find out they're not there. They don't have white paint, and so I had to order it online. I did order kind of like a fancier brand this time, though. I did order a fancier paint. So we'll see how that turns out. Visual greetings, Guten Tag. Welcome, man. Hope you're having a good day over there in Germania. But yeah, it's just the dealing with anything local is like I said, I want the local stores to survive. Like I'll give them a couple more bucks for the paint or whatever, but I know they have they got to make margins because they got to pay for the store, but they don't make it easy. They don't make it easy to go there. You know what I mean? Because then, like, also, when you walk out of a little shop like that, when you walk out of a little shop that sells little things, and you didn't buy anything, you feel like you just stole from them. Like, you just wasted their time. And not just that, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it feels like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to walk away with nothing, but it's like, I don't know. But it's kind of annoying when I spend. It's like they have to be on point because I have to spend extra time and money and gas to get there, and so if they don't have it next time, I think about needing paint or anything. The likelihood of me going there is about 0. So gas money, good. Well, wear and tear, gas money, the risk of getting hit. All kinds of variables, right? Not to get all dramatic about it, but Forgot of car driving, it's a risk. Well, the risk, yeah. Every time you get into that death machine, I think I'll just order online. Well, yeah, exactly. It's just so much better that it's like the only time I kind of I like to go there sometimes because it's like I like the atmosphere. You talk to a person, you reminisce, right? You strike up a conversation. Like it's just it is sometimes part of the experience to go somewhere, but I still want my thing, right? Like I'm not just going there to hang out. So that's the problem. But overall, I can't really complain too much about the weather. The weather's been great out here. The weather's just been great especially like for Illinois. We're still not in the we're still not in the horrific state. We still got some time to go before things get like really bad. Somebody Insomniac says is inflation affecting art supplies too? I mean, I went to it's hard to I don't know about art supplies in general, probably, but when I went to the local like gaming store, like I looked at the Warhammer stuff and it seemed like it was like everything was $10 more. Like the 6-unit, like when you buy a single squad of something, it was $50 less. Like a couple years back I bought a Imperial Guard and it was like $50, and that was expensive, I thought, for a squad of little plastic, toys. And now it's like $60 and it was like 3 Space Marines. But I think they might be like special ones, I don't know. But regardless, it seems like the prices for, like, imagine 3 little plastic guys, $60. That's wild. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like Warhammer is kind of entering into that stage where it's kind of like you gotta be like somebody that's kind of doing pretty well for themselves to afford that hobby. Yeah, I don't know. But basically, yeah, like I bought a little tube of white acrylic paint for miniature models the other night, and it was $10. Yeah, it was $10 for a little thing of it. I mean, it's good paint and stuff, and I say everything is getting comedically expensive nowadays. I really don't understand. I guess it's all energy related, because I would have thought because that's all you ever hear, right? Ever since I was a kid, you just hear about prices going up, right, of everything. And I'm like, the thing that's confusing to me is I'm like, how is it that things were cheaper back when things were less efficient and back when factories were not automated and computerized? I don't understand how things keep increasing in their production capability, but things keep getting less, we're less capable of affording. I just don't get it. Is it because, I can't put the 2 and 2 together. It might be just like I'm too low IQ to get it, but... The weather is good, but I'm mostly indoors working. I opened up my door, because when I woke up, it was kind of like almost 80 degrees inside the house, but outside was kind of not chilly, but it was like nice. It was like 60 something, and I'm just surprised at how much hotter inside of the house is compared to the outside. So I opened all my doors, even though I don't want the creepy crawlies to get in here, but I just wanted to cool the house down a little bit because it was so nice outside. I wanted that cold air. Oh my god, Coolio subscribed for 5 months, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. Do you paint or use colors? Well, I don't paint. I do paint. Little miniature soldiers. These are the Tau. These are the Kroots of the Tau. but that's the only thing I paint. Just to be clear, I'm not a big paint enjoyer. Well, like I said, I'm not a big color guy when I draw. I'm more of a color guy. Obviously, you have to paint these with colors, otherwise you're wasting your time. But Slipknot fan, what's going on, buddy? How's it been? How's Englandia? Jen, welcome. Wow, they look crazy tiny when you hold them. Isn't it crazy how, like, you forget about how tiny they are because I blow them up on the screen, but yeah, they're actually, like, if you actually look at, like, the size of it, like, let me show you, like, what you're... This is, I mean, like, just imagine paying $60 for, like, 6 of these. Like, you're paying $60 for, like, 6 of, like, something like that small. Like, it's actually, like, the pricing is crazy for these things. These were bought... My friend bought these back in when we were in high school, and I'm just now getting around to painting them. Not much is happening here. It's getting sunny. Nice. Well, I'm glad that Europe is getting a little bit of sunshine. That's good. Yesterday I clicked on that news guy's Twitch stream. Don Lemon. He's a political guy, right? Don Lemon, isn't he like that? He's I said, "What's up, Holmes? Kill it." He read my handle in and asked if I oil paint. Oh, he asked if you do an oil painting for him. Nice. Very cool. You had those sitting unpainted? No, my friend had them sitting unpainted. I'm the one solving the problem. I am the guy that's solving the problem. But yeah, yes, basically yes. Well, to be fair, he gave them to me to paint, and then they sat here for 2 more years, while I finally mustered up the internal energy to do it. I kind of assume he gave to you in your high school. No. Are those Warhammer figures? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Never got into Warhammer. Seems cool. I think Warhammer is cool. You know. Slippy, Don Lemon didn't get arrested. Oh, because of that. Oh, sorry, guys. Let's stay away from politics. I know where this conversation is going with him getting arrested. Let's please stay away from those conversations. I'm in like a good mood. Like, I don't want to talk about Don Lemon's. Here we go. Yuri is solving problems. He's feeling matter of fact today. High school friend is gonna come back and ask for his soldiers. Well, I'm painting them for him. Like, I'm not painting them for myself. Like, I think that's part of why it's so hard to do. Like, is because, like, you're going to put all of this emotional, like, investment into something, and you're gonna sit there and, like, work on it, and then, like, you don't get to look at them ever again. You know, it's just something that kind of, like, you know, I think that's what makes it so difficult to paint for other people, is, like, it feels like work, you know, and if you do, and if it just... It's cool you keep in touch with high school people, you know, well... Maybe 1 or 2 of them. I've mostly let go. Of most people. Like, you know, you just, like, slowly lose... It's not even like we had fights or anything. You just, like, slowly lose touch with people. Just... Everyone gets busy, and then, like... Once the kids happen, like, they just are, like... You know what I mean? Like, they're just busy. I don't even blame or anything. It's like, I get it. Like, I'd probably disappear into my own little world, too, if I had you know, kids and stuff. Your days are just get eaten up. Yuri, you've had those since high school? No, my friend has had them since high school. I took them on to paint them. You mentioned that you had them for a while, but you never mentioned it was literally since high school. Well, I read the date because my friend bought them. I read the date on the box of sale, and it was like 2000 and whenever high school ended, it was like 2000 something. So it was like 20 something years ago, sort of. Yeah, I'm 35 now. No politics. Let's talk about these bug alien wielding human-like weapons. They look like they stole those rifles off humans. They do. These aren't. They're supposed to be spiders. I just kind of didn't give them 8 eyes yet. I might add more eyes. I might add 2 more internal eyes, like here or something. But they're stylized bugs. One reason I can't let go of my boyfriend, my page is Facebook. I don't know why I read that backwards. My page is deactivated though. I still have my high school friends on my messenger. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. They're cool. Thank you. Yeah, I just like to just draw whatever, whatever comes into my mind, and I'm like, I think spiders are pretty cool. We are passing around memes once in a while. Yeah, mostly like everyone that I'm connected to on social media, I just use them as like my meme spam people. The people that still tolerate me, I just send them memes all the time. My piece is looking extra cute. Oh, thank you. Your piece. I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it on the up and up and do a good job with this one. If you're calling dibs on it. Do you think you would ever work for or do comic book stuff? I don't think I will, and the reason I say that is because I want to keep art mostly for my own personal enjoyment and entertainment. I'm not opposed to making money off of it. The issue is like a comic book would be quite a dedication of time, and I kind of get tired of being in the same subject for too long. So there's a couple. It's not an absolute no, but as of right now, it's a no because it's just too much time and dedication in one direction, and I already have like a lot of projects that are kind of like long term, like the game I'm working on. So it's like there's no way I don't want another multi-year project or whatever. Like, so it's not an absolute no, but there's nothing in plans or anything like that. It's just too much of weight to lift, even mentally. Just thinking about it, I'm like, no, it sounds awful. You think you I'm 50-50 and dibs. Wait to see the development. Nice shading too, by the way. I love drawing, but shading has always been my weak in my drawings. Well, I appreciate that. Shading is definitely like adds a lot, and I'm trying to like slow down with this picture. And I always say that, but I'm trying to like really slow down, and because I noticed like a lot of people like I think I was going too fast on some of my pictures, to be honest, and I think like I need to actually like kind of slow down and let things breathe and just kind of come back and work these spots instead of trying to like just max out my efficiency. I think that was kind of too much maxing out of efficiency was like kind of burning me out a little bit on art, because I would treat this like a job even though it's just a side like hobby, streaming and drawing and stuff. So I need to just kind of chill off of that and just make this a couple hours here and there, and not even try and be like super efficient. But yeah, so my plan is to make money in other ways, essentially, like long term. So I'm not super concerned about making money off of art. Mm, just realized in American writing that you write 50 cents like 50C, not zero point 0.5 or 0.5. Yeah, I do appreciate one of your irons in the fire. One of your irons in the fire. I'm not sure what... I'm not sure what you're saying. One of my irons in the fire? Is that some ancient... Is that some ancient English phrase? Future Oil says, I hated high school. Same. I hated every second of it. I hated it. Like the same way cats hate water, I was like that with high school. Like absolute misery every day, hated it. Just God, I'm almost like my mood just worsened just remembering how much I hated it. I got friends in high school, which made it worthwhile, but I hated it just the same. Yeah, even having friends in high school, it's like having friends in prison. Like, yeah, you're gonna make friends because you're forced to, but like, I like things on my... I know I'm kind of gonna sound selfish, but I do like things on my terms. Like, I don't like to be in places where I don't want to be. Like a cat. Like, I don't want to be in places where I don't want to be. I have cat energy. What about art class? There was no art class. I wouldn't have taken it anyway. Wild love high school so much. That is so crazy to me. But we got bullied and stuff. I didn't really deal with too much bullying or anything like that. That wasn't the primary. It was the slight... It was like this... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I like to be inside my house. Friends in prison? Yeah. It isn't prison. Well, can you leave? Right? Can you just leave without any legal consequences for your parents? Right? Like, yeah, if you can convince them to do homeschooling, you can leave, but... I know I'm being a little hyperbolic right now. I'm being a little hyperbolic, I understand that, but I do want to just really hammer down how much I hated it. Having friends in prison. What kind of high school was that? Just a typical, like, Midwestern public school. Nothing super special. Art Cram says, how's it going? Hey, Art Cram. It's going pretty good. I can't complain. I'm enjoying life. Tending to my projects. You know, so... Of course, my neighbor decides to mow his lawn after I start streaming. Of course, he doesn't know I'm streaming, so I can't blame him, but I'm just saying. Oh my god, the mowers, I hate that. Yeah, it is. We're getting to that time of year where you never really don't hear a lawnmower. It's either next to your house, and if it's not next to your house, you can still hear a faint lawnmower far away. I really do hate... I don't want to say... Hate is a strong word. Which is why I use it. No, I try to get them back by mowing early Sunday mornings. What I do is I mow through... I mow a section of my lawn each day, like 6:30 in the morning. So my front yard, 6:30 in the morning, Monday. Tuesday, 6:30 in the morning, middle. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday, the back of my yard behind my garage, in 6:30 in the morning. Every single, like three times a week I mow. And then I get a bunch of garbage, and then I burn it in the morning. No. You guys started to sound like old men. I've always been accused of being an old man inside. Like, I've always been a complaining McGee when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, I really am. Like, I have, like, old man spirit. Like, where I just complain and complain and complain about these things. It's all about revenge, yes. Hit him hard. Hit him back harder, that's what I say, right? Socializing in high school was fun. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I got the wrong impression. I should have said art is another arrow in your quiver. Iron in the fire means one of many projects. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Iron in the fire. Yeah, yeah. People have always accused me of being older since I was 7. Meeting? Nice. Yeah, I was not a big fan of school at all. I don't even understand the yeah, I just don't get how you could want to do that. Like, canceled? Nice. They definitely know how to waste a lot of time with those meetings, you know? I did find like meetings, like a lot of meetings that I've been to was sort of like I felt like there was a lot of theatrics to it. Like there was always like that, like because like everyone who was trying to move up, you know what I mean, they were like always trying to kind of put in their 2 cents about how much they cared. I don't know. I felt like a lot of meetings there was like a theatrical aspect to it, you know. You know, after the weak third quarter, we really gotta get the, you know, or like like some safety thing or something. There was always like a kind of like this vibe of like trying to like put in your 2 cents about how much you really like. Would you take a job drawing for Magic the Gathering cards? I feel like that would be fun. I think I would. Well, yeah, I think that would be fun, actually. These bugs would do nicely for the space theme Magic has right now. Yeah, I think that would be, actually, that's a really good idea. I think the cards like this, I do think like I would probably do a pretty good job at that, because I like to render things out. And yeah, I think in a context like that, I think that would actually be kind of a really cool job. I think you're right about that. Numbers are looking blah blah blah. Yeah, it's a lot of meetings is really eyebrow exercise about you have to seem concerned. Like, maybe put your hands together on the table and, like, really seem concerned. Lean forward. And, like, or just say something like, you know what, Bill is making a really good point. And then just kind of riff off of that. Like, you gotta, like, it's, like, very performative, I feel like. It's, you know, it's everyone's, like, little opportunity to, like, to like seem like they really care. And some do, but I've always but I've always thought of it like I've always watched it in horror is like I just never was like, because you as a floor person, as someone who was always on the floor in a factory, like I know the physical reality of what's happening, and I'm like, you guys are just like, you're just saying things, like you're just saying things, like it doesn't, none of that is going to be reflect anything. Like I know what's going on, what goes on. Eyebrow exercise. This is spot on, Yuri. Then they say, Jen, can you turn your camera on? Well, you know, I like a lot of like saying that things are trending in the right direction. So like if we had a couple bad months, they're like, right now we are down, but we are overall, if you zoom the graph out, we are trending in the right direction. That's like a big one. Like when things are fucked up and like sales are down, like they'll be like, yeah, but like if you look at all, like this is typically the quarter that like slows down this time of year, and then but if you like zoom out, we're trending in the right direction. Like that's like a big one. Or I remember like this phase, like when they would start to say, like when we messed up, they would say that's an opportunity. So like you'd have like these linguistic tricks to like kind of like get you excited about stuff. You know, that like there's like these like business cycles where like certain kind of key phrases become popular. Like I remember for a while there, they were like everything was an opportunity. What they really meant was we fucked up bad, but now we have to call it something else to soothe our egos. God, I just like want to never ever like go back to that. Like I'll go become homeless and like live with a dog under a bridge. I just never want to be in another meeting like that. It's so depressing. I just can't do another, like I just can't do it. You know what? I wasn't able to understand what performative means until you used it. Yeah, right. Jen says, it's so like that, we're just wasting time glancing at each other, lol, discussing the stupid numbers. We're trending in the right direction, you know, all the lingo we use. Yeah. No, I've been there. I've been, like, I've done enough of it to where I'm just like, I already know that, like, I've seen too much. I wasn't able to clip it properly. That'd be crazy, like if you clipped it and it went viral, and I got like the companies I worked for saw this, and then like, I was never able to get a job again. That eyebrows exercise, yeah. Just the corporate dribble, it's too much. If you upload the VOD, I'll clip it. Yeah, I'll upload the VOD. And we do have the performative people. Well, manager name, I agree. I think this will benefit us all in the long run. I look forward to blah blah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. a performative means it's like an act. I think that's what it means, right? Like when someone's like, yeah, it's like fake. It's like we're faking being productive, right? Like you're just sort of, or like you seem concerned at work. You're using a lingo to kind of seem like you're in on the project and you're like super into it. But it's really just sort of like fireworks. Like if there's a war going on, but you're shooting fireworks, it's like from far away, it kind of seems impressive, but like nothing's happening, right? Like if you were passing by, you'd be like, oh wow, those guys are really like, you know what I mean? They really know what's going on, but like really there's nothing happening there. So that's what performative means to me, is like you're just sort of creating like this, like, it's so, well, to be fair, production workers also have this trend too, where you walk fast from your break, like you seem like really concerned about getting back to work. Like you just walk around faster and seem kind of pissed off to make it look like you're busy. Sometimes there's a little bit of that. Let's, you know, we all do a little bit of, you know, a little bit of that kind of stuff. So that's why hipsters were calling, like, they appear, they're trying, appear to be trying hard. I think hipsters have a different kind of, hipsters are, it's more meta peacocking, where, that's a little bit different, where you seem like you don't care, which shows you care, kind of, right? Like, you kind of maybe the meta peacocking is like you put on worse clothes to show how much you don't care about things. It's just a different kind of, I guess it's still in a performative kind of like theatrical thing, but it's just a different kind of a different thing there. Right? Like you want to seem like you don't care. Performative, should I say performative males? Yeah, but I think with hipsters it's a little bit different. Like they got a different kind of vibe going on. I always hear that word, but I don't know what it means. I don't really either. But that's kind of how I define. That's my definition of it. Is like faking productivity, I guess. But you know what? Now that I kind of think about it, perhaps for like marketing for like an artist can be helpful to build aura, and sometimes you have to be, you know, like with Steve Jobs, he had that like turtleneck kind of thing and thick glasses, and he had like this sort of like weird genius performative thing, like meta peacocking kind of thing going on. And I think for an artist, like for certain industries, like obviously like music bands, you have to like aura farm. So maybe doing, you know, I think there's certain industries where like a customer wants to feel like you're like the guy. I mean, maybe in those industries, like actually like doing the performative kind of stuff like really is like good, because they don't want to buy, they're not buying like a Toyota, like a car that's gonna, they're buying a feeling like from a guy that's the guy, right? Like, so I think there, like something like that could probably work really well. I mean, I haven't visited cafes in a very long time, so I'm not one. Seeing that is the first step. Right. I've noticed that in our culture, to like expect this in the workplace, I don't engage ever, and it's come up in my evaluations. Oh, having like a more negative review because it seems like you're not on the in. Yeah, I think that unfortunately, like if you're in the workforce and you don't play the game, you get punished. Like just being good at your job just isn't the thing. Now, some companies, because the thing is that some companies, like probably smaller companies, being the guy that knows how to do stuff will get you rewarded. But I think the bigger the company is, the more bureaucratic it becomes, and the more you have to do the dog and pony show a little bit, get that pony out and do the, make the dog jump over it or whatever, because they don't actually know how to assess productivity a lot of times. So the way they do it is through theatrics, right? Like your enthusiasm is how they like kind of gauge that, because they also don't know what's going on. I'm just kidding, right? Like how do you know? Like if they don't know, the only thing they can go by is like you seem energetic and you play the game, right? Even if you're actively harmful inside the structure of the company, right? Like they don't actually know a lot of times. It can be like years before they figure out that you've actually been not doing anything. In some cases, it's a lot harder to do it when you're on the floor producing stuff. But although I've seen that too, I didn't get a negative review, but in my top 3, I wasn't the best in my company. I think they would expect the performative from me. Right. Yeah, you gotta put the cherry on top. That's just what it is, right? Humans are social animals, and you can't be like it unless you're like, let's say you're a programmer, and the only way you're gonna be in that top percentage tile is like if you're just a super genius guy that like everybody knows you're the super genius. If you're not on that level, if you work for an average company as like a mid-level guy, then you're gonna have to play the game. Like there's, maybe in like at Valve or something where they have like 350 employees, like you can be the quiet genius guy and be rewarded, but most times you're gonna have to play the game. But that's just what it is, and it took me like a really long time to learn that. They just said, well, you're at the top, but you do it very frequently, Jen. We would love to hear more from you as to your process. Well, but I still got a great... Right, yeah. Yeah, if they give you like a perfect score with no room for improvement, it's like, shouldn't I be running the company now? You want to move out of that seat and let me in there for a second, because you're, clearly I'm the thing here. I'm the bee's knees. But they gotta take you down a notch or two. One time I joined the party planning committee. It's like to like be more performative, lol. Yeah. A lot of times, yeah, and you join those committees, like the safety committee, like all of that stuff. You join, and it does help you put like, it helps you be on the end and like put your face on the. You if you do the extracurricular activities, which I didn't really want to do. It does help you get in front of the boss, and you get to be, the more airtime you have, like the more you're just gonna be the face that they remember to put, for promotions and stuff like that. Like it really does work that way. Like when you put that extra effort in, not every time, but I'm just saying generally speaking, if you're doing that stuff, it does help. Future Oil says, okay, what the... Nice. What are the roaches aiming at again? You're just watching them. I didn't. I'm not gonna like draw in like what they're shooting at. It's going to be more like they're just just watching them repel down. They're just shooting at whatever. I just like the idea of like the idea of them repelling. So you're supposed to make these games and digital birthday cards for people? I didn't do much. I just sent a regular message on Teams, happy birthday. We were supposed to send these elaborate e-cards. Yeah, bro, that's too much. That's crazy to me. Like all of that is like I think that's too much stuff. Maybe it's just me, but I've always treated work as a like. I just want to like. I'll be honest. I have never had a job where I didn't just want to leave. Like, I know people find like jobs that they do love, and I think that's really great when people find something like that. I've never had that. I'm definitely waiting to leave. Like. You can see it on my face. Like, you can see it on my face. I want to leave. do. Sorry, I thought this music would be more fun, and it started out fun, but then it kind of turned depressing. The Diablo music, like there's parts of it that are really good, but it's like, but then it turns really bad. Thank you for the follow, whoever just did that. I appreciate that. Elmondo, what up, crew? Hey, I realized I forgot to do last time. The Angelic Fifi, thank you. Well, thank you for doing it now. Appreciate that. Glad you were able to find the channel again. So yeah, welcome Elmondo and Fifi. I know it was so much work. I think the girls got frustrated with me about the e-cards, but they weren't mad when I socialized during the game. Jen, will you please host the game? Bro, I'm tapping out. Does Future have a party planning committee at his job? Future, do you get tortured like that? To me, that's great. Honestly, I have worked for companies where they wanted you to like do way too much stuff. You had to build, so within the company they wanted you to build new relationships and like and be like, so me and this person and so like you had to be like if you work there, they wanted you to be like, it was not a place you showed up and did your job and left. Like they wanted you to like be, you know, every quarter you had to be like, yeah, this other person I'm really like in with like what they're about, or I don't know. It was like I'm telling you, like it was way too much. It was way too much. Like this company is your family now. Now I think that that's actually like, if you work for a company that, I think if you work for the company that naturally occurs, I think that's fantastic. I just, man, that was rough. That whole, like, it just felt like they wanted you, like, that job was your life, and then you get to go home sometimes. Because even when you were there, they're like, we need you to be, like, more involved with, like, making new friends here and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess I'm just not that kind of person. Like, I don't like when, for my life, perimeters get defined for me, if that makes sense, where people will say like a job or school or whatever, where I get put into a place where they're like, these are the perimeters by which you'll be judged. Like you don't get to live your life, you get to like go rest, but like when you come back here, like your life is these things. Like I get the work part, but like I don't need to do like all of the other like stuff. No thanks, I'm good. What color or tool did you use to make light from the gun? Oh, this laser kind of thing. That was just this like it's just this charcoal white here that I really like. That's what I used for that. Yeah. Hope that answers your question. But that is work-life balance. Is they want to treat work as your life, so you don't leave. But that's what's gonna make me want to leave. You are expected to be BFF. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, they do. I guess I'm just not tuned that way. It's really hard for me to be. I can put on. I can be like, kind of like social but not every day. I have like one of those. Like once every 2 weeks, I have like that day where I can be like, kind of turn off the charm and be like super extroverted. I get like one day in me of those like maybe twice a month I can be that guy, but I need to just not, you know, I don't have that internal energy. Wow, simple problems have simple solutions. True, sometimes that's true. Oh, Augustus, welcome, man. How's your day going? Hope you've been painting and stuff. Did you sell any paintings? We are not a company, we are family. True. True, true, true. They do want you to be believing in it like that. We had to do the same. They have claimed down like a year ago, but for a while it was way too much demand on to be BFFs. Yeah. Just start using AI to like make fake photos of like with you and your coworkers and like their dogs and stuff, and like I don't know. I guess like yeah, like once I leave my job, I need to go back inside my like dark cocoon in front of my computers and do my creative stuff. I just can't, you know, I just can't continue like socializing forever. But again, I'm not a hater of people who can. Like I think that's great if that's your thing. I heard from someone that his boss drew the line early. We are work colleagues, not friends. We are work, not friends, to his subordinates. Yeah, I think because the thing is is your work colleagues. I do think you should be their colleagues. You know what I mean? Like respectful, keep a professional line. I think once you start crossing over into BFF territory, I don't know. Sometimes it has its own like negative kind of. I don't know. I just don't need to be super friends with everyone. You know. That's totally fair. What made you decide to do Twitch then? I've always kind of wanted to, and stuff like that. I just kind of started doing it. Like I just started doing it, I guess. When I did it, I found it really draining socially and mentally. Oh, for Twitch. It depends on, yeah, it can be, but it depends on like how many hours you do and stuff like that. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. That's why I think that's why I picked an art thing, so that it's a little bit more sort of my skill based and I can just sit here and draw instead of it being like, you know, I guess, yeah, it can, I think Twitch can be, because you are sort of engaging socially. But it's okay. Like, it's fine. I don't think it's too bad. But if I was doing this, like, let's say I was, like, trying to do, like a lot more hours, I think it would get really hard. Future Whale says, that's a fast track to get reported to HR. True! That is true, but also, not if you have good... Like, you can't say things you would say to your real BFFs after you had a few beers. Like, you have to be conscientious that these people are going to try and stab you in the back at first. Your work BFFs are waiting for you to slip up, right? Like, because you're competing for the same position. So, like, if you're in that world to, like, move up, you have to understand, so you can't run away with the BFF thing. You have to be, like, kind of keep a reserved kind of like professionalism, but still make it feel like, you know, you're there. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of things happen at work like that, but I've never had an issue because I was always like kind of, you know, I was pretty professional and I was pretty smart about what I said to whom and stuff like that, you know, because yeah, I don't know. Gotta go prep for my meeting. Be back later, you guys. Meantime, please solve all of social ills in society. We will. I think he has the position to do that, so he isn't afraid to say it. I think he has the position, right. I don't remember where I read this, but it was something like one of the biggest mistakes someone can make is thinking that their colleagues or their friends, including the 2 or 3 people you like. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that you should be very careful. Like, it depends on how much you need the job, right? Like, you should gauge how careful you should be based on how... Gangster Wobble D? Gangster Wobble D says hello. I also love drawing. Nice, man. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I just, that's kind of like my thing. I like to draw it up sometimes, you know. Sometimes I paint miniature models, but mostly I just sit here and draw. I can socialize, but I hate it when people want me to do it like Circus Monkey. I know those girls had me host because of how I talk, but secretly I know they don't want me on the team. Or when we have the meetings, if it's too quiet, it never fails. Jen, how's your weekend? Any funny stories? Let me grab my jester outfit. So true. So true. You should get like a jester hat with like the little bells and just like start like shake your head as you're telling your weekend story about like your dog shampoo, like how your dog shampoo, like it all spilled out. I didn't know what to do. What's that? I didn't know how I got through the weekend. Wow. Work politics, love the perfume one. Performative one is usually one snaking other people. Right, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like the for sure. I've always had like, dude, there would be like people that would always find a reason to be in the office. They would want to cling as close as possible to the king's ear. Like there was like some people that they would always be in the office for some reason. I'm like, how are you even like running your line? Like how are you out there like so much of your time? Like who's watching your line? Like how are you in there? You know, it's almost like, I don't know, it was just like they were definitely playing games and like ratting on people and like they were shaping, like I guess you could describe it as like shaping the battlefield, right? Like they would be like trying to like set up this and that and have this story about, you know, have like 3 stories going on at the same time about people to management and like try to maneuver getting this guy fired, it was just like really wild how some people like could basically not even work and they would always be in the office like essentially half the day. I don't know, it was pretty wild. I think I was already at the point that I don't add workmates as as friends to my FB account back when it's still active. Then it got solidified when one office mate had a habit of digging down old... Exactly, yeah. But you gotta be really careful with these rats out there. You gotta be real careful. I do need a jester fit. Well, I had a friend once wear a shark suit during a meeting. I swear I was dying, but nobody else said anything. It was like I was the only one awake. Yeah, I thought about doing outfits for the stream, but then I realized I don't feel like doing that. The thing too is like you don't get too much out of doing that. Like ratting your coworkers out or trying to get them, you don't really get enough out of it. Like there's not really anything on the other end of that for you. Your paycheck still stays the same, right? Like because these people are gonna like move on anyway to a different like job, right? Like they're gonna wash out, and it's just like doesn't matter. Which is the wild thing of how much energy they spend doing that kind of stuff to get almost no traction there. Like, if they spend half the energy just starting their own business, they would be, like, millionaires. Like, I swear. Watch this whole speech gets clipped and sent to my next employer. I don't care. It's like, it's fine. Grocery zombies. One rat ended up getting married, and I sent her a very generous gift card. I know she hated it. I then told her congratulations and copied and pasted a sweet Bible verse. I remember I went to a coworker, I asked for a cigarette, and this one chick, she was like, you could see her eyes light up. She was like, oh, you smoke? Like, you could tell, like, she was, like, super excited. She's just like, oh, no, you smoke? I didn't know you smoked cigarettes. It was like, you could, like, not that she could, like, really go say anything about it, but you could see the salivation, like, forming. The lip quivering in excitement. I'm telling you, it's the jungle. Well, the guy... I'm telling you, I don't blame the people that go into, like, ease mode, where they're like, this is baseline, this is what you pay me for, and I just clock out and I go. I don't blame those people. Honestly, like, I kind of, like, get it. Like, you know... Yeah, she was like super. She was like, I can't believe like I found this thing about you. I'm like, I wasn't hiding it, I just wasn't smoking. But today is a stressful day, and I want a cigarette right now. I'm telling you, it's a jungle. Usually, they will call me to discuss a funny story or a Theo Von episode, or like to talk about some video game. Nice. The salivation is caused by the nicotine, or like the lack of it. Like a rabid dog salivating through. I think she was just more like. I think she was just more excited that she found a thing that she thought was like a character flaw. Like that was my perception of the situation. Is like she found out a thing that like. It's like, I'm gonna put this in my little piggy bank of like notes that I can pull out later. I'm having a blast here. I bought Coca-Cola with a recipe from the 2000s. Nice. You bought Coca-Cola. Is it still? Is it still? Can you still drink it that many years later, or? She found a useful tidbit. Yeah. Because you know what she'll do. I know. Okay, so I know why. So this is a scenario of why like that could work in her. Like the tidbit could work in her favor. Is like dropping like let's say they find out in a parking lot, they're like, oh, there's a lot of cigarette butts out there, right? And then she can just nonchalantly bring up and be like, well, you know, I think like Yuri smokes, right? Like I've seen him. He was like asking him for a cigarette from somebody. I think he smoked. Like she can just not say it, but like not say it, but like say enough to where like doubt would be put into like, you know, I think I've seen him smoke. Like he smokes, right? Like we've all seen that, guys. Like she just kind of can drop that into a convo. Not like again, not like any concrete thing, but it's enough to where it's like, let's see if this kind of sticks. Doubt, right? Like that kind of strategy. Seeds of doubt. Yuri smokes cigarettes in her diary. Japochi, welcome, man. I'm on lurk. Nice, man. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate that. We're just talking shit about work today. Just totally like wiping the slate clean. Facts, dropping facts. Maybe she's interested in you. No. She was like 20 years older. It wasn't like that. It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. In that, it wasn't that kind of thing. These conversations make me want to draw inside a dungeon forever. True. I'm a female. They love this kind of info. They file it in their mental binder. Only the performative females do this, though. In your diary, I just saw Yuri smoking. True. Sounds like a spy novel. Well, I mean, kind of, right? Like, you do, like, if it is a spy novel, if you're really a spy, like, it is something to take note of. If somebody smokes, it'll give you a, because you, like, learn about the cigarettes they like, which would give you the location where they like to shop, or, you know, not necessarily, like, I know they don't sell only, like, one type of cigarette, but, you know, you can start to build rapport if you are a spy. It does kind of sound like a 1940s, like, spy novel or something like that, right? Or I guess 1980s, right? Where the Soviet Union stuff. Soviets. They enjoy cigarettes. Hey, just Jun love. What's a performative female? Jen, do you want to explain to him a performative female? The performative work female, Jibochi? Yuri does a good job explaining them. No, I think, I don't know. Well, I told the stories about the ones I encountered. Have you guys watched The Americans? That was a while ago, right? Like, I remember seeing the... I know what you're talking about. It was a TV series. Was it like the Russians in America pretending to be Americans? But yeah, I know about that. No, I've seen the box, but I've never watched The Americans. I know that like they had like an issue with like the there was the, remember like in America they caught a bunch of like Russian spies. A series attempted to show the extreme absurdities that a spy was capable of committing. Yes and no. I never watched it, so I don't know how far they went in the show. But I think a lot of times, well, like I think they had an issue with like, I remember they found a bunch of like Russian spies in America. This was like a few years back, and they kind of just ended up living like normal. They got jobs. They like lived normal lives, and they like kind of forgot that they were spies. And like when they got outed, they didn't like really have anything on them because they didn't really like spy anything up. You know what I mean? I guess like the justification could have been that they were reporting as like sleeper cells, like we're gonna do something once, but like they just kind of didn't. They kind of couldn't get anything on them because they were like, they just kind of like started like had kids and started living their lives, and they just didn't, you know. Like how do you stop someone? Like how do you, right? Like stop a spot. Like what if a spy goes to a different country and they're like, actually this place is pretty dope. I'm just gonna kind of blend in and just chill. Um, does the series kind of give off an image of don't think these people are human, they're vipers? Oh, you think it was like reinforcing the Cold War era kind of stuff? I'm sure there's a little bit of that. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's possible. I've never seen it, so I've never 100%. Yeah, I've never seen it, so I can't speak on that. So in the meetings, they're always talking the most, saying like, "Hey, manager name, I agree. I think this will help me to do this and help the team do that. I know from me, but sorry, Yuri, can't hear you. Hope you're well. Can you really not hear me? But the tail is small and ugly. Lol. No point in peacocking. Uh, like sucking up to the boss's ass just to like impress, right?" Slipknot fan says, "Hi, man. Kind of performative, like bringing a lot of attention to yourself, right? I can imagine. It looks different in other areas of life. Yeah." Out of curiosity, did you coincidentally get talked about smoking in the back? No, we were allowed to smoke. You just had to get off company property. You just had to walk to the end of like the driveway. That was the only contingent. You guys eat anything interesting today? I had store-bought Korean spicy chicken ten. I bought some egg rolls. They were like these like kind of like shrimp egg roll things. They weren't like super interesting or anything, but I had to get a meal in me, so they were kind of pricey though. It was like $10 for like a not that many of them. There needs to be a Papa Meat episode about 9 to 5 performative work girly. Oh, Meat Canyon or whatever. Meat Canyon channel. Yeah, he would do a good job with that. He did a great one on egg rolls. Sound good. Yeah, sometimes egg rolls like they kind of hit the spot. You know, they're just like just the nature of them. I think pot stickers though kind of have the similar energy. I think pot stickers have similar energy to them, and I like pot stickers more overall. Uh, Protein pancake, I guess it must have lots of egg in it. Mm, like the Starbucks pumpkin spice girl episode, right? Yeah, that was a good one. It does kind of encapsulate. He does like a very good job at encapsulating like the energy of, you know what I mean. Like he does a really good job at like kind of grasping the energy of the situation. Like that is how I imagine like those like white girls that like kind of get Starbucks in like super expensive SUVs. Like that is how you kind of imagine the situation, right? He does understand the vibes. True, true, true. My protein pancakes are so good. You don't even need syrup. Mmm, nice. I'm too cheap. I don't even go into those places. You know what? I went to a Starbucks one time, and I was not blown away, so I never went back. But if you're talking about Starbucks, I've only been there once in my life, and I tried to order a white chocolate because I've had white chocolate coffee before, and it was really good, but they didn't have it, and I don't know. I just didn't see I didn't feel like I that I got like $8 worth of coffee. Like my experience wasn't $8 worth. You know what I mean? Like I'm like that definitely was not an $8 experience there just now. Because like any other coffee like would have been $3, right? Just over $3 at McDonald's, but over there it was like $8. But I didn't I wasn't vibing with it, you know. For $8, I kind of want a little bit of something that's not just kind of the same. I stopped going when I thought the place is too pretentious, or at least the people that I noticed. You know that, but that's yeah. They're trying to fish those people. Yeah, but yeah, and I know exactly what you mean. I do like more simple places. Like as I get older, I want like a ma and pa kind of like just give me normal coffee. It is crazy too to think like some people drink like if you're paying $8.50 for like a coffee, let's say, like you're paying kind of, like that's a pack of cigarettes or a sandwich for a coffee, you know. I like what they're selling, but some patrons are right. No, I get what you're saying. Not you're right. Augusta says here in Brazil there's a franchise that sells perfect slices of cake. It's the best slice of cake you've ever eaten, but I refuse to pay $30 for a tiny slice of cake. Well, $30 is crazy by any standards, actually. Like $30, that's like 10 Walmart cakes, or three, at least three, right? I don't know how much cake is going for these days, but you know, last night I was going down a YouTube rabbit hole. There's a Brazilian RTS game that was made back in like 1990s or something, and I don't know. I watched a whole documentary in the background about some Brazilian game they made that they just redid. It was like one of these. It was like a Command and Conquer style game, but I guess it was the first multinational hit that Brazil had with video games. And it was like technologically further behind like where games were at that time, but I guess because of that, a lot more people were able to play it, so it had its own like success. I don't know, I went down like a rabbit hole about Brazilian game industry the other day. So here in Brazil, there's a franchise that sells. Wait, I just read that? That's embarrassing. Like, could have swore. Sometimes like I could have swore I saw chat move up. And it's like, I think my mind just like glitches out sometimes. Like I kind of turn this way and I see it move up, and then it was something fuck, I just had it on the tip of my tongue too. It slipped out. You type in Brazilian RTS game 1990 something. It was something like, it's on Steam right now. It's they redid the graphics for it. They like remastered it. But yeah, it was like a purely Brazilian made game. I think it was Outlive. I think it was. It was an RTA. Yeah, it was Outlive. Yeah. You know about it? Is that like a? Because like you knew about it, right? Like, I'm like maybe like it's like the Brazilian StarCraft, where like you have to know about that game since you're from Brazil. You know what I mean? It'd be funny if that was like a well-known Brazilian thing. I wasn't familiar with this game, but in the 90s, I was still very young. Oh, I see. Well, check it out. I guess it's not. I guess the game was really good. I didn't check it out yet or anything like that, but they were saying good things about it. It's the I guess my game isn't going to be like that one. That one's more of like a command and conquer vehicle style game. I'm aiming for something a little different, but the games that made me obsessed with PC gaming were Dune. Play that one. That one was really good. Day of the Tentacle. I've never heard of that one. Day of the Tentacle. Alone in the Dark. I almost fell over backwards when I saw those games. Oh yeah, I played the first Dune. Like it was kind of it was like a strategy game, right? Like, yeah, I played that at my friend's house though. I remember Duke Nukem. I played Duke Nukem at my friend's house. Like for some reason, I had my buddy's dad that he had like all of the consoles, and he had like PlayStation 1, he had like a bunch of PC stuff that nobody else had. And it was a good time back then. RTS, yeah. That's probably still my favorite. Overall, that's my favorite. You know what game I would like to make? Like, this is like Fantasyland imagination right now, but like, I think that the game I would like to make is imagine Diablo RTS. Like a small army, but your faction is like a unit in the sense of like your progression is you're fighting with like a small, like a company-sized military unit, right, or something like that. But you progress like you do in Diablo, meaning that you're like slowly upgrading, incrementally upgrading your like overall functions of your army. And you get to build some base stuff, but it's not like you spread across the map. You have like this, like you progress through the map with your army, establish small footholds, and then progress. But you slowly become more powerful as a force. Like something like that would be like really fun. I also really like basically like Diablo, but you're not a single unit. Oh my god! Somebody sends a squid. Thank you for the little squid. Thank you, appreciate that. I also really like Mega Drive games. That kind of reminds me a little bit of like Micro. Do you remember that Microfosis or whatever that company was? They made Alien, XCOM UFO Defense. That was my favorite game for a while. Like legit. Like I found out about it after like technology had moved past that point. But like that game was so good, like that I like spent significant amount of time playing it. And like my neighbor gave me a PS1 with that game just so I could have that game. Like because it was like he wasn't gonna play the PlayStation 1, but I was, and I really liked that game. So XCOM was the game I spent the most time playing. Yes, spent about 3 years wanting to play XCOM 2, which was sent in the ocean. XCOM Terror from the Deep. Yeah, that one was a little bit of. I played that one too. I didn't really. I'm just not into like the water stuff. Like I'm not a water whatever. I hate water. Basically, I'm like a cat. I hate water. But the original one, unless you're talking about XCOM 2, like the actual XCOM 2, the 3D one, which I thought was not in itself a terrible game, but it didn't really hold a candle to the original. I know people like to say that, like when they compare like the original game to like the new thing, and it's like, yeah, it's just not the same. But like it really, they like didn't get. I feel like they didn't really understand like what made the first one so good. Like the first one was an actual tactical game, like sandbox tactical, whereas the second one could have been broken into the 3D one could have been a card game essentially. I just wanted more XCOM. Understandable, completely understand. But yeah, like the newer ones they made were basically it can be like one of those card games essentially. Like the way it works is like the same. The 3D space makes no difference. It's not a real sort of tactical game in a sense. It was. Ran out of music. Ran out of music. Those were interesting times. Then, games were very expensive, and most of them were rubbish. I think I agree with that. I think I agree with that. It is interesting. Like it's so much easier to make games now. Like you know what I mean. To do a game back then, it seemed like you had to be super scientist. Like where do you even get a like? You know what I mean? Like I feel like you can get a fairly cheap laptop, download Godot, and go. You can make a 2D whatever. Now you know back then you had to be you had to know someone from like a computer was like 5 grand, right? Which in today's money would be like I don't know $18,000, right? Like it would be like you'd have to be like kind of rich to have a computer to even like begin that journey. It's so much easier now. Have you watched? Yes, I have. Yeah, he's pretty entertaining. I haven't watched him for a minute, but I do know who you're talking about. He's great. He perfectly captured that feeling of renting a game at the video store on a Friday. Yeah, yeah, those were. Yeah, I forgot about that. Paying what could be $20 today and having an entire weekend ruined by a crappy game. Yeah, those were definitely like going to the video store, and it was expensive. By the way, renting games like was not that cheap, but it was just easier to convince my mom to give me money for that, like compared to buying a game. Like I knew I could get like whatever it cost out of her. Like I knew like once a week I could get that money out of her. But like getting a $60 game was like a little bit of a stretch. And I myself didn't know if I was gonna be like in love with, because a lot of times like you play that for a weekend and you'd be like, okay, I'm kind of like, I got to the part of the game that's really frustrating and I'm kind of like done with it. But yeah, those were good times. I do miss the family video whatever kind of stuff like that. I do kind of miss that a little bit, that experience. Unfortunately, that is like that's gone. You know, like you're just never gonna see that again. And even the movie theater experience, I would do it. It's just, the thing is, last time I went to the movie theater, like out of the same sort of kind of sentiment of like, oh man, these places are dying out. Let me go to the movie theater, and then I got like sticky seats, sound that is arguably worse than I have in my house, right? Like my computer speakers are like better. Like I'm not even kidding. Like I don't even have like the best thing out there, but like they sound better compared to the clipping. And then like the dark screen. I'm like, okay, my monitor is more right. It's like what's the point of even going to the theater if like the whole experience is like worse in every way? And I heard a guy chewing next to me, right? Like, so it's hard to justify. I kind of get, because in my head the idea sounded, going to the theater sounded good until you get there and you like put your foot on the floor and you hear that sticky, like, because your foot stuck to the floor because of like the pop that's been spilled there. So you kind of just, it's like I'd rather just stay home and play Helldivers, right? Like that's why everything's dying out. It's just easier to like, at least here when my desk is sticky, I know I'd made that happen. It's not somebody else's sticky nasty goo that's covering the seat, right? So that's my take on that. The only good thing was being a teenager and being able to spend 2 hours exchanging saliva with a girlfriend. Uh, it, just in general, or are you saying, oh, the movie thing? I was like, why are you bringing that up suddenly? Oh, the movie. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, the movies. Right. I mean, I'd say like I enjoyed movies. Like it wasn't just like I did go to the movies to see the movies, like and stuff. But it is weird how like all of those experiences, like in just like one generation, like disappeared. Like a whole cultural, not completely, but like the whole cultural phenomena of like the drive-in theaters, the like a lot of the stuff. It's just I wouldn't even be surprised with like DoorDash and like self-driving vehicles. I wouldn't even be surprised if going through the drive-through as an experience kind of fades out before within the next 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's within the vicinity of, like, reasonable kind of. You just have boxes, like, buildings will be boxes that produce things and ship them out to you via drones or something, right? Like, there's not going to be anything else, right? Like, even if you look at, like, downtown in, like, these small Midwestern towns, the downtown isn't what, like, the downtown was the central point that you would go to from your farm to go buy supplies. Now it's fake. Like, we keep it for the architectural value. Like, those stores just sell nothing, like, just garbage, right? Like, you go into, like, these thrift stores and it's like they have I don't know, a typewriter next to, like, hay that they're selling, right? It's just, like, just garbage. But like, we like the downtown because it's like, or whatever, like, random dresses that nobody, I can't imagine they're paying rent, selling, like, random clothes that, like, I don't know. So I think, like, the downtown is fake. We know that, but we like it there, right? Like, the downtown isn't, it's like a sort of a separate experience that we fill it with garbage to, like, have something to go do. Like, I don't know, put a coffee shop every other, like, block or something, you know, just fill it up with something for people to do. But, like, it isn't a real place. Even that isn't, like, it's not a place that you go to like it was in the past, like, for real things. It's more of an experience now. We also lost the experience in the 60s. People went to the movies to watch the news. There were 5-hour films. The food was cheap. I don't know if I can make it through a 5-hour film. I would tap out. Like, my attention span, it's blown out. I can't do 5-hour films. That's crazy. We also lost the drive-in. It's true. I never had it, but I missed it inside my heart. Like, it's kind of like when you watch Stranger Things, like that first season where you get nostalgic about you get nostalgic about a place you've never been to. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's the weirdest, like, thing. I think a lot of people had that, like, thinking that the 80s were good. Were a time where, like, if you missed your oil change by, like, 2 miles, your engine would explode. And if someone walked out of your immediate vicinity, you just never saw it. They could just disappear into the woods and you could never find them again, right? It was definitely a wilder time back then. I remember back in the 90s, sometimes you had to spend an hour cycling the parking lot to find a spot, even on a Tuesday. Do you mean like at a mall? That's another good one. The mall. You have the army recruiting station there, and some other stuff. Like, it's turning into the mall is that's another weird one. Is like, what are they gonna do with, like, all these monolithic buildings that they have to maintain? You know, it's just like. That's another good one. I've always said, like, the mall needs to get turned into, like, little miniature cities with, like, climate controlled, like, villages. You know, I would, like, legit consider living in the mall if it was, like, redone. You know what I mean? With, like, you'd have, like, your little community living there. I think it'd be kind of cool. You know. But yeah, that's a really good one. The mall is, like, gone. You know, it's like it's like slowly turn. Have you seen those videos where people, like, go into abandoned malls, and it's like the back rooms? Like, the vibe is unbelievable. Like, seeing these, like, monolithic airport-looking buildings that, like, are just empty. It's a very strange, like, feeling. the other sort of weird thing I thought about malls is like I just mentioned how they look like airports, and they kind like a lot of them have a similar design philosophy of like having these giant glass windows. You know, like if you kind of squint inside of a mall, you can see it be an airport. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Here in Brazil, shopping malls still operate. They do. They limp along. I would say they're like operate isn't the right word. They're limping to their grave, kind of thing. It's too dangerous to be on the streets, so people go to the mall in search of peace. Gotcha. Oh, is there like security there? Is that why? You're kind of making me want to go to the mall just to see the like what is even going on. Like because I think also like well I was talking to what's a Coolio the other day, and he says malls in the Philippines are more based around like things you would go need. There he is. There he is. But in America, malls were almost always just kind of entertainment focused, and like when the internet happened, mixed in with some bad economy, they just plummeted. They just fell apart because the mall isn't really a grocery store, right? So I think a lot of it was just hinged on the wrong idea, right? So like the internet plus like worsening economy just like deleted a lot of these interesting places. Really, everything is changing very fast. True. Rare to find a business owner who can afford to pay 10K a month in rent. Yeah, I don't understand how that's possible. Like I don't get it. Like how do you put 10K out there? And I think a lot of the yeah, never mind. But yeah, let me I think I mentioned this to you before, but malls here built on top of a grocery. Right, exactly. Yeah, like I literally just mentioned you in that respect that malls in the Philippines, like you told me, are sort of based around a different concept. So they're like more resilient in that they're more around the things you're gonna need to go get. So people can hang out after doing groceries and stuff. True. Necessities first and luxury. Yeah, I think our malls were because the space for groceries was already like it was a thing that was already like kind of taken up by that time. That was already established, so malls kind of became pure like cotton candy fluff. Like it was just something on top to go do once you were done with all the boring stuff. But maybe a mall can be resurrected around the concept of it being an experience, but it has to move away from what you like. And it was right. Like going to the mall is like a cool hangout spot for a lot of people. Like, but it's not cool enough. If all it is I go there and like why do like the same thing is like why do people go downtown in like these midwestern towns, right? Because it has downtown is the only place that has architecture that is of note. Everything else is like sort of dystopian gray kind of warehouse looking thing, right? So I think the mall has to become sort of an offshoot of an experience that is sort of beyond. Like if they do plastic, glass, and steel everything inside of a mall, people aren't because everything else is like that. It has to maybe become a thing that is something more than that. I think. I don't know, but I could be totally wrong. The resurgence of shopping malls depends solely on the economy. A large part of the reason people are preferring to stay home is that they don't have money to burn. True, but I agree with that, except for the internet thing. Is that when I do have money to burn, I still don't go to the mall because I want to get what I want without getting out of my computer seat here. That's the other thing, is the internet did a lot of the punching before the bad economy for sure didn't help. But some parents don't want to do groceries with their kids, so they leave their kids at the gaming arcade or something, then go back to them when the groceries are done. True. That's, yeah. You know, one thing I really wish our town had that I really want, and I don't have the money to start one, but like if I did have the money, like maybe it would be really dope to have a comic book store slash sort of a gaming store. Um, I really think our town probably has the population to support a store like that. I just don't have the capital or know how. I just know there's a lot of things I don't know enough about. I don't want to burn through like 50K finding out that I'm an idiot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I already know that. I just know running a store is going to be hard. Hard. Uh, yes, but get a girlfriend and you'd go back. Women are the ones who like to eat. I like to. It's not just women. What the? Have ice cream and buy random things. If you saw my Steam account, if you saw how many games I've acquired on Steam throughout these years, um, I'm playing defense for women right now. We all know they spend money like it's water, but I'm defending women right now. You know, like, no, I'm just kidding. Regardless of the shows, regardless if the shows are local or internationals, people got Netflix. Yeah, exact. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I don't have a sticky seat and someone chewing next to me. Um, you know, that's the thing, is that the movie theater experience has gotten like not equivalent to even a normal person's sort of system that they got in their house is like better. It's a better experience. Um, I can imagine, but women have the habit of let's go out of the house. I want to go out. I have that too, but what I get in my car and I usually like drive around. Like I go, it's like if I get in that mode of like I need to get out of the house, I go buy coffee and I drive real slow. That's my thing. It used to be the motorcycle, but like I'm just like tired of spending money on motor like tires and stuff. I just go for I might go buy a bicycle or something. But yeah, you gotta like I fell into that trap too, where like you get kind of bored, especially when you work from home. You kind of get into that like I need to leave the house, and it kind of you end up kind of just dropping $200 every time you leave your house. And yeah, like the best one is like go get a coffee and just drive around for a while listening to heavy metal. So, but try not to like buy stuff. I mean, most people can get their things online, have their gaming consoles, watch movies at home, so it just deletes the need to go to the mall. That's the thing, is like, have you seen the games that they have in an arcade? Every game I have is vastly better than that. Every game I have is like 10 times better than anything they have at the arcade, right? So that's the thing, is that it's not competing on any level. We got outdated machines too, and they are fun, like in their own way, right? Like it is fun to play an old like we have a like an old church that got converted into like a gaming kind of store, and they have like they sell like old games, and they have like old arcade. It's not really a place where anything's like really defined. It's just like go see. It's like a thrift store for nerds, right? It's like you know how when your mom wants to go look at like knitting stuff or whatever. It's like that, but for like dudes like me. And you go in there and they got like arcade machines that are half working. Some of them are working, but some of them I don't know why my nose is like really itchy today. It's like really bothering me. I need to like pluck my hairs or something. But yeah, so we gotta play, and it's cool to like sometimes go in there and just see what that experience was like, but it's definitely not enough to keep me coming back. Like I don't need to play Ninja Gaiden from the 80s to, every weekend. It's a place I would like show up to once, maybe once a year, if that. Realistically, these alternative stores require a lot of people willing to burn money. It's very difficult. I would never open a store like that. I don't know, man. I know. Okay, I don't know. So I'm just sort of. You're not wrong, but people like those like trade-in gaming comic book like console places where it's like this nerd thrift store kind of. A lot of them make a lot of money. And they make a lot of money in bad economic times. A lot of times because people run out of cash and they need cash and they sell their favorite thing on the cheap. And so those places like make bank, like regardless of the economy. Not saying they all do. I'm sure there's a lot of that, but I've heard that they make money around all like especially during bad economic times when people like need cash suddenly. They kind of don't. They do pretty well. But you're not wrong. Like a lot of places will burn, but I've heard things where it's like they like don't really. They do pretty well. Original Annecy. That store also sells trading cards and such. Right. Yeah, and like I said, it's a good it's a good place. I need to go. I need to head back. Hooks, nice, Jen. I need to head on over there. I mean, like I'm sure they get like cool new stuff. Sometimes I know they sell Warhammer stuff. Not that I really need. I'm still working on your stuff actually, but I'm just doing it like an hour a day right now. But I am still working on your models, NST. But yeah, I need to head on over there one of these days. Just see like because the cool thing about those places is that like they could have something that you don't expect, right? Like they could have an offshoot of just something you're not expecting suddenly, like an old game from that you played as a kid, which is kind of exciting to go like suddenly find. This picture would be so funny if they were aiming at one of those dolphins. I don't want to spread anti-dolphin propaganda. We don't support that here. I'm very pro-dolphin. Um, we don't point guns at those creatures. Realistically, read that. Casinos are there to burn their patrons' money. Yeah, casinos are. That's a strange one, right? Because people find money to destroy their lives somehow. Like that's the gambling has always been like kind of a this kind of mystery to me. I've never understood gambling. Uh, but yeah, that's actually a good point. Like when people say like people aren't gonna spend money on that because it's like it's a luxury. It's like, have you heard of gambling? Have you heard of drugs? Like they will find money. Like they're gonna find money, some way somehow. I'm also like a little now. I've never understood gambling, but I've never done it. But now that I get older, I am a little bit terrified. Like if I gave it a try and I felt that like feeling of like winning, that I would like understand why it's good or something, and then like keep coming back to it. So I'm just like I'm just committing to like I don't do gambling. Period. Like I've never done it, but I am terrified that like you find out that actually like you do like it a lot. But yeah, just to me, it's like once it was explained to me that the house has the advantage and you go there to lose money, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just never go there then. Super simple. In the old days, there were normal people willing to travel 200 miles to spend 3 days burning a lot of money. Nowadays, I don't know anyone who has money for that. You don't know. I just these places like make money. Like casinos make crazy money still. Like I think you're right. So like I'm sure people have slowed down, like normal people who like gambling casually. But oh, you know what it is? Online gambling. They made online gambling real now or legal in Illinois because it was basically sanctioned off too. You have to go here to do it before, and now you have it on your phone. So a lot of people just sit at work and then they'll drop $200 in a bet. With sports gambling, for instance. So a lot of it has just gone online. So you kind of don't see it. You kind of just don't see it that much. But yeah, I think like I can't remember where I saw the statistic on how much potential economic value gets lost to gambling, and it's like horrific amounts. You don't even like know how much like potential energy that humanity could be producing. They just get squandered on these, right? Like casinos and gambling and stuff. But yeah, definitely a good thing to be afraid of. Like if you're definitely a good thing to be like not comfortable with. Like hmm I saw a documentary about inveterate gamblers. Is that a misspelling or is that a real word? Inveterate gamblers. Did you mean degenerate gamblers or it starts with a big win, like the guy wins 4K in one day at the casino. Yeah, you gotta walk away if that ever happens, because there is such thing as a beginner's luck. I really believe that. You gotta be able. You gotta if you make 4K, just walk away. The psychology of it boils down to winning 15% of the time. People get addicted to losing. Interesting. Yeah. Inveterate. Are you're using big? You're not. I told you guys not to use big words in chat. You guys know I can't read. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get through it. I didn't know that. That's a new word for me. Actually, I might do a painting stream tomorrow for the miniature models, so I can like kind of speed that up. But I've been usually doing 1 hour a day of the painting through the Croots. I do like to switch it up sometimes. When I get into too much of the same thing, I kind of start to get burnt out. Sometimes it's good to like switch to just painting miniature models because it's a little bit of a different thing there. You know what I'm thinking about investing in? I'm just looking at the prices of like miniature models right now. I'm like, maybe it's just better instead of look at it this way: instead of gold and silver, buy Warhammer and then like do a nostalgia play in like 10 years or something. Because some people really do make money like buying and selling those Yu-Gi-Oh cards or like the Magic cards. Like legit people have businesses around that. Maybe that's the move. Like is like knowing what stuff sells, like finding out more about those hobbies to where you can my bad. Spit on my piece of paper here. It's got my DNA in there now. But maybe that's the move, is like knowing enough about a hobby to where like you know which units to buy that will like default go up 10% a year, and then doing a sale, right? Let's think about it. What's going to bring 10% a year? That's like a lot. 10%? I noticed this in Dota. A Dota player who is far above average wins 60% of the matches, and an average player wins 45%. A bad player wins 35%, and nobody stops playing. Without a doubt, the problem is that we never know what will be worth a lot and what will be worth nothing. Well, it seems like the overall trend though is up, right? Like if you have you can make a bad bet, and sometimes things do fall through, but the overall scope of things seems like things go up. You know. But actually I say that, but like I did buy like a long time ago I bought a baseball cards, and I was like thinking like, because like it was kind of like popping off at the time, and I was like, well, maybe like it'll just keep popping off, and then like the baseball card thing kind of fell apart. Like they're just not, you know, I'm sure there's like samey so ones from the 40s or whatever, like that, or whatever, you know, that are like worth like a lot of money, but like for the most part it isn't what the card trade isn't what it used to be. So I of course I got my parents to buy it because I didn't have money. I was a kid, but I told them, I'm like, well, maybe this is like the thing, and To be honest, I lost them. I don't know where they are, but I don't think they'd be worth anything. So some things do fall through. You're right. Without a doubt, the problem is that we never know what will be worth a lot and what will be worth nothing. If I were to give someone advice, I'd tell you to research items that nobody buys and nobody wants. True. Because in the future, people will want to build complete collections, and and what's rarest is what was a total sales flop. What's rarest is what was a total sales flop. Yeah, Star Wars. I mean, I listen to. There's this channel I listen to sometimes. It's called Toy Federation, and they run a podcast about their toy sale store, and they kind of give the insides on that. And it is kind of random. Like, there is like this line of whatever GI Joes just never, like, it just doesn't sell. Nobody wants them. But this line just super, like, everyone super wants it. But then, like, it'll flip one year and suddenly that stuff will start selling and, like, people want that. So there is a randomness to it, but I think it's like anything else, if you're on top of it and you're like paying attention and you buy a little bit of this and a little bit of that, like, you can average out your losses and winnings to profitability. But, you know, I'm not interested. The thing, I don't want things in my house. Like, I don't want to buy a bunch of things that will sit here for an eternity in hopes, you know, but so that's my things. Like, I actually kind of like having a house. And my house isn't super clean now, but, like, I like having a house that isn't full of boxes. It is a little bit, but not horrific. Trading those graded cards is physically demanding. You can make a bunch of money, but you have to travel. I know someone who does this and makes a lot, but he networks a lot, attends different events. Yes, I think that's the other thing, is that you got to do show. Even with the toy stuff, they do shows. Like, they don't just sit and they do yearly shows, and they'll rent a booth for like a lot of money, but they do, like, they make bank too. Like, they make really good money. You're right. I think I'm the wrong kind of person. Like, I am by nature a burrower. Like, I burrow inside of my house and I just sit here. Like, I'm not by nature someone who wants to go adventure. So I think that lifestyle would be really difficult for me. You need a bunch of cash to invest in top graded stuff. I mean, if you're looking to make a business. Right. This guy moves around a lot, but makes bank. Right. Nice. True. Well, you kind of have to know. You have to be on the in to, like, know what to buy, right? Like, if I get into it right now, I would also have less profit just because I would make the wrong bets on the wrong things. You have to have monsters of knowledge. You have to know the market, like total expert. Right. Yeah, you got to stay on top of it. Yeah. Hmm. I love watching American Pickers. That is a fun show. Humans are weird in that way that they'll like. Like I never really understood why companies pay for brands as much as they do, like billions of dollars for like Star Wars, right? But it kind of makes sense that people like attach themselves to a feeling because of an old thing they had in their childhood, and that's worth so much money. Like having that familiarity of a product, even though we don't need any of this stuff, right? Like we do want it because it's like nostalgia is a very strange kind of a feeling of like, you know, but like we'll pay a lot of money to feel that again. It's fun though. I've been to some of those events. Yeah, I need to get out there and like and be in one of those events, but I'm just too I don't even know where to begin. But yeah, I need to like do that. Um, I probably would really enjoy doing that, but I'm kind of wishing now that I had made this a little bit more dynamically, but we'll kind of see how this picture rolls out. I'm gonna go through with it now that I'm this far in, but I kind of I know I could have done it more sort of three dimensionally and stuff like that, but why does rubbing your eyes feel so good? Oh my god. I know you're supposed to not do it, but then why does it feel so good? What he did was get trained in the major grading houses. Then he used that skill to maybe clean up any older stuff he would find in an auction, fix it up, send it to get graded, then list it online. Right, yeah. Once you know, yeah. Like you can find a thing that would normally be worthless. It's the same thing as like motorcycle. If you find like an '80s Japanese motorcycle, the thing that's always gone is the carburetor, because that's the thing that's like $500, and the rest of the bike isn't worth anything usually. But so if you know that, if you find a bike that's like let's say $200, but you know you're like, hey, let me just rip off the carburetor, and then you kind of you go home, you clean it up, and you sell it online for $450, right? So that's like just knowing things can make you money. But if you don't know things, you're going to use a lot of time and energy to not make money. It's like the opposite effect. What you really need to do is look for art galleries. Oh, me? That would require leaving my house, so no thank you. Besides, Jen is looking to pick this piece up. Um, because itching is the first stage of pain. Is that why I like it so much? Then you rub the itch and increase the level of pain. You feel relief. Man, it's so magical. The other one of my things that you're not supposed to do that I love is like doing the ear thing with the little cotton swab thing. Love it. I don't care if it causes issues down the road. It just feels too good. But he did this with high demand things. Cards are not worth a bunch in comparison to foreign coins. Chinese coins are worth a bunch. And the clients pay thousands of dollars. They're shaving 20% off the top. Right. Seriously, you shouldn't even be looking at galleries in person. You have to search online and go through the correct process. You know what? I went into a bar a few months ago, maybe like a month and a half ago with my buddy. He invited me out to go drinking, and I had like a few beers. But what was interesting is I was like looking at like the artwork they had. It was kind of it wasn't a hipster bar, but because they still have to cater to like the orcs to live out here. But it was half hipster a little bit. They had some artwork. And there was a couple, like I looked at the artwork and I'm like, bro, I don't know what if they paid for this, but like I definitely could like get in like if I don't know, like somehow get in on that like bar kind of like artwork energy. I also think it's a total pain in the ass, but it is what it is. Through contact process. What do you through contact process? It would be kind of cool if there was like an online website where you submit your work and they just kind of do the work for you in terms of finding your client, right? Like, because it's like, where do I go with like these weird spider people, right? Like, I don't know. Who needs this, right? It's hard to know, but somebody does. And exactly, that's what the gallery does. But that's what the gallery does within the context of what like not every gallery is gonna sell my stuff. If they sell not this stuff, then they're gonna be like, this isn't for you. But if they do sell this kind of stuff, then yeah, they will sell stuff for me. I need to find like a gallery that would sell this. It's okay. I'm good with just e-bagging. E-bagging works just as good. What the runner being is rating with a 12. Thank you, man. I appreciate the raid. Let's do a shout out really quick. Shout out runner being 36. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. How was the stream? Hey, Mr. Foros, this looks awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Are you Filipino, by the way? Because I noticed, like, Coolio says Mr. Foros. Like, you guys are Mr. Sayers. Or I don't know if you're... I'm like, maybe there's a correlation between... Is there a correlation between saying Mr.? Like, I just noticed Filipinos say it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the raid. Hope you guys had a great stream. You want to drop your Insta into the bra British? Oh, okay, nice. I was just wondering. Maybe that's like, I don't know. I'm looking at I look at patterns. Thank you for the follow. What were you guys drawing over there? Counting my Davy Jones cash. Continuing my Davy Jones cash. Oh, nice. I don't know who that is. Let me do a quick little Davy Jones. Davy Jones. Jones. Oh, British musician, 1945. Is he one of the English musician actor best known for American pop rock band Monkees? Okay, yeah, I've never heard of it. I thought, because he kind of looked like, at first glance, he kind of looked like he reminded me in his young. He kind of reminded me of like the guys from the Beatles or whatever. Clearly, he's not. Like, clearly. He is the octopus-headed pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. He's the octopus. Really? Not the musician. Oh, really? Not okay. So I'm looking at the wrong guy. Well, I tried. I tried to look into it. I tried. I gave it my best shot. But other than that, I hope your day was good. Or your stream and stuff. Gold star for participation. Thank you. Yeah, I need that. Well, also back then, it's like you look at the people like with the bowl haircuts from like the 60s, and they look indistinguishable from one another. You know what I mean? You can barely tell the difference between people. Just because Coolio says, "What did you work on?" Any links? He was doing a sketch of David Jones, but not the musician one. Augustus says, "Would you have the patience to watch 2-hour interviews with artists? The channel I found is really cool. Those artists make so much money. It's not fake modern art, and it's not fake modern art." Nice. I have the patience? Man, it all kind of depends on if I'm interested, right? Like, I have the patience to do some things that like are would some be considered very meticulous and annoying, but I like it. So it's just, I don't. I mean, send it to me. You can send it to me in Discord, and I no promises, but like if I click on it and I like it, I'll keep watching. But no promises. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's like it sounds like a good idea when I say it on stream, and then after I have to move on with my day. I'm like, I really regret promising that. Like, so I'm just saying, like right off the bat, no promises. Like, but you can send it to me in Discord. I'll give it. I'll give it a glance. I gotta get my Helldivers in, you know what I mean? I still gotta play a game or two after this. And those are like lengthy games sometimes. You don't just extract whenever you want. They're kind of niche. They paint things related to Wild West. Yeah, I've never been a Western expansion enthusiast, like that whole era of like the cowboys, and I never like understood the romanticism of it. I kind of get it now, but I don't know, that whole technological era, I think I don't know what it is about it. I just kind of, I know a lot of Americans feel like a very close relationship to the whole Wild West kind of cowboys and Indians, small town railroad, like Red Dead Redemption. They like love that. They love that kind of stuff. But I just never. It's not my cup of tea, I guess. Oh damn, this is like actual like pro level work. Let's see. How do I follow? Do I have a? Is this Blue Sky? I haven't been on Blue Sky in quite a while. Oh, I have to sign in to. I don't know how to sign in. I'm gonna have to reserve that. I don't have the. I have two computers here, and I don't have the other. I don't have the login for my Blue Sky. I'll have to check it out later, or I'll have to. Yeah, I'll have to do that later. Yeah, the work you're doing is great. It's an old version, however. I'm working on improving the lighting and texture. Yeah, that's like really good stuff. Oh, that is awesome. Great work. Yeah. That is awesome. Thank you. Yeah. It's like actual pro level work. I clicked off of it now. Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta click on it here again. I wanna go back to it really quick. I like that you kept it like more like I had an issue with like when I tried digital art is I couldn't help but continually rendering more and more until everything kind of looked not good. I like how you kind of like, you know what I mean? I would just keep zooming in and just keep like refining everything. This has like kind of like a oil kind of look to it. Like the brush, you can still see like the brush strokes kind of like a little bit. I really like that. That's my biggest flaw. I do exact same thing. I don't know how can you get away from doing that? I don't get how you can like cause like in every other thing, like when you're doing painting for a miniature model, it's only better to do that. Like things only improve the more rendered out things are. So by instinct, my instinct always tells me to go deeper. Like my instinct is like, no, you have to keep rendering. But then everything kind of turns into like this glassy look. I can't even describe it. It doesn't. It's perfectionism is at its worst. Yeah, and I also feel like once things get over rendered, it kind of loses a little bit of rawness to it. Like it loses a little bit of its like free spirit kind of thing. So I think that's sort of the issue. Is like I want to do things that are a little bit more sketchy now. It looks, yeah, yeah, exactly. The airbrush look, it's like the worst. It's like the worst thing ever. Well, it's not, but I'm saying because it's not what I don't want that look, but I tend to get it, you know. So that's just like it's hard to let, because it seems like the more of it you do, the better things are gonna keep getting. And at first it's true, right? Like at first it's 100% true, but then it crosses over into that like airbrush look, and it's like yuck, 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 yuck. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that's not what I want anymore. But I don't really do digital anymore. But I gave it a cursory glance at one point. I wasn't super good at it. I'm currently working on him on stream at the moment. And you'll see I keep going back and forth with a blend tool. Oh, you're doing it. You're doing it right now. How do I go to your channel? Oh, I thought you meant like you were streaming. I see your clip though. Yeah, the thing you're doing is good. Like, you're definitely good at digital art. Did you ever do like lesson? Did you ever go do like? Did you take those like kind of, you know how like the digital art experts, they like sell courses on stuff like environmental? Like, did you ever do that, or did you like just like sit down and figure it out, or did you like go through like I taught myself digital art. Gotcha. Yeah, I know. Like some people like sell courses on how to do like a specific look, which is impressive. But I just never was. Yeah, like I said, I never went down that road. It's just for some reason I like kind of like what I do with Tradish, and it's, yeah, I don't know. I might eventually, but I just tend to find myself gravitating. I was pencil and paper since I was a young sprout. I made the jump in my 20s. Gotcha. Yeah, I did buy a Wacom tablet, and I attempted a jump, and then I messed around in Krita for a few weeks, and I was just like, I don't know. Never really like fully. I was never a full convertee, but probably would have been good to do that. It is nice to think of like how much more of my house I would have back to myself if it wasn't filled with like notebooks and random paper and pencils everywhere. Like I think like I'm losing at least 30% of my house due to just like lackluster organizational skills. I just put things on top of things sometimes. So that's kind of like the big. I'm still amazed that Krita exists for free, kicking the butt of parasites like, well, you know who. Oh, yeah. I love it. I love Krita. Krita in Blender. Those are my. Wait, it's a Godot. It's Godot, Krita, and what was the last one? I already blanked. But yeah, those three software programs are like basically, you know, the best. Obviously, the price point is very manageable too. Like the whole free thing really sells it. Godot and Krita are both open source and free. Yes, yeah, I use Godot. I've been using a lot of Godot. I've really realized Godot can really be used for like animation and like really anything. I'm kind of coming to that conclusion, but I'm slowly working on a little project in the background, so. But my biggest hurdle being that I don't know how to program. That's what's really been slowing me down, so. What are you making on Godot, or is it okay? So the game is called Pest, which should kind of give you an idea. Basically, like you've seen the movie Gremlins, I'm sure, or Critters, right? Those old movies. Like that's kind of the energy I'm going for. Is mischievous creatures, like infecting. Like basically, the main premise is like Half-Life, like experimental, like life forms goes wrong in a laboratory and they start to wipe out all humanity. But the novel idea is that you play as the bad guys, you play as the bugs, and so you kind of infect and grow and kind of like you're the Zerg against humans kind of thing. That's like the main premise, and it's sort of a pseudo RTS swarm game where you have to like beat every increasingly more difficult levels. You know, so that's like the there's not going to be a super complicated story to it. It's just going to be that. But that's kind of what I've always wanted to make, is that energy. But it's going very slowly, and sometimes it goes backwards because I've realized I made something wrong, and it's like instead of moving forwards, I have to go back 2 steps to like fix something. So it's moving very, very slowly, and I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to it. So it's going to be, you know, at the rate we're going, we're looking at probably 20 years, but to make the kind of game I want. But that's a very Foros design. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely gonna be kind of like a, I don't know, a fun, like kind of. I've talked about this concept for like such a long time with friends about making a game like that. There's just something about being the infection that's sort of like very entertaining. But also, like, I just like the concept of like being the mischievous creature. You know what I mean? I just like it. Just super appeals to me to be kind of like the, you know. Honestly, being a scientist means I get excited about infections and mutants. Are you really a scientist, or being a scientist means I get excited about? We're gonna have scientists, like it's gonna be like sort of underground lab kind of conditions, right? Like most of the levels are gonna kind of be designed around that concept, like metal rooms, like think like Portal, like kind of like Portal rooms, sort of ish. There's going to be scientists, janitors, crew, soldiers, intermixed with all of that. I'm a microbiologist, molecular biologist. Really? That's really interesting. I follow this guy on Instagram that he does like these photographs of microscopic organisms, and they look really spectacular sometimes. And they have bioluminescent, like, some of them have bioluminescent, like, glow to them. I think they produce it naturally from their whatever biological reaction is happening inside of this like one-celled organism, but they do look kind of yeah, it's really weird how some organisms are stunning. Isn't it crazy just how crazy that little world is over there? It's quite the yeah, I follow a few accounts of people who take photos of like these microscopic creatures and or insects, and it's kind of mind-blowing, sort of what goes on in basically on our skin. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Pseudomonas is fluorescent. Yeah, that's crazy. And so, do you, so you show up to work and you go, do not look up Pseudomonas eye infection? I was just going to town, rubbing my eyes in. I was just sitting here just doing this to my eyes because they were itchy. Is that like how they get inside? You make like a little cut in your tissue, and then that's how they get in sometimes. I bet that's how they get in. I bet that's why they tell you not to rub your eyes. Is because like a micro cut will cause enough damage to get an infection, right? Hopefully, I don't get that. So like, what does like you show up to work and you clock in and you do what? Like you grab a couple like. You know what I mean? Like, how does work go for a person that's I can't, because I come from manufacturing, so like, how does a scientist work? Like, do you bring the petri dish with you to work, or they supply them, or? I almost would like rather not know what all of those like little creatures do, you know? I would almost just rather not even know because like I feel like if I knew what really goes on, I would become a germaphobe. Ignorance is bliss, as they say, right? But today I was growing a biofilm on a specialized disc in the morning. Biofilm on a growing biofilm on a specialized disc in the morning. In the afternoon, I grew some cancer cells. I heard that cancer cells is like cancer is actually like a part of like I was listening to this podcast like as I was falling asleep. I wasn't like super paying attention, but they were saying this one dude was saying that cancer isn't like what we think it is. It's more of a part of the immune system because cancer cells tries to like I forgot exactly what he said, but he said some smart stuff about how cancer is actually it happens all the time. It's actually like if it didn't do kind of like the more damaging stuff, it's actually until it gets out of control, it's actually part of the sort of the overall system that's supposed to be doing something to sort of clean up the system. I don't know. He said something like that. But yeah, but biofilm on the specialized disc in the morning. Like, are you guys growing like like sort of artificial skin for or whatever? I don't get that one. I don't get biofilm. Like like plastic that self grows. That would be kind of fun if that got out of control. If you guys invented a plastic that could like kind of just grow, and it like grew uncontrollably and took over everything. That would be kind of fun. Like a fun movie premise. Every time your cells divide, there is a risk of mutation to occur, ergo cancer. So technically, it's a constant risk, but you need to have the risk factors present: genetic, smoking, obesity, to also trigger the mistake. Hmm. Right. Yeah, I definitely did. I did some smoking at one point. I mean, I still smoke some, you know, once in a while, but yeah. So are you like are you doing so are you're basically like you're saying like you do some cancer research, like you guys are growing them to find out what cancer reacts to, like do you grow it to like then pour some apple cider vinegar on it and see if that'll kill the cells, or like you know what I mean, like are you guys trying to find out like is the difficulty with cancer is that like we obviously like it's part of the process, right? Like it happened, the mistakes happen, so we can't fix it because of that, right? Like there's no easy way to like get rid of a thing that naturally happens as a bio process. It is kind of fun that a scientist is like entertaining my questions. That is pretty fun. No, the focus isn't on cancer itself. We're testing the effects of novel insulin compounds. Insulin is like that stuff that gets produced when you take sugar in, right? To counter the sugar. Compounds to ones that exist on the market. And we use cancer cells rather than healthy hepatic cells. Since genotypically they're similar, but the cancerous version is much easier to grow under lab conditions. I didn't understand most of that, but I think what you guys are making an alternate product for something, right? Of novel insulin compounds. Hmm. So like you guys are trying to like find it happy to fan the fires of curiosity, right? It sounds like you guys are because insulin like medicine is like hard to produce, so you guys are trying to make it like a cheaper like a alternative insulin kind of a thing, right? For like diabetes or whatever. Is kind of what it sounds like. But I know like insulin medication that people take, like sometimes like they run out of that stuff and people just like it's bad news bears. Grade 8 cards, you talking about Pokemon? No, we were talking about making money trading cards. Earlier, we were talking about baseball cards and things of that nature. Like, because I bought baseball cards a long time ago, hoping like maybe like I'll get rich, but I lost them and didn't get rich. So neither of which happened. But you have to have dream. You have to dream, right? You have a whole range of insulin types according to patient needs, ultra long lasting versus short burst action, so you have many different forms of active ingredient. Oh, I see, I see, I see. Yeah. For example, the ultra long lasting ones are typically in protein cages. They take time to dissipate in the blood, whereas short bursts don't have those modulators. So insulin resistance, you get that from eating like sugar, right? Like, and then people need insulin to basically artificially have insulin to break down the sugar or something. Is that like the basic problem there? Like with diabetes, is that they can't handle the system can't handle the. Yes, I love anything that kicks down the supposed dichotomy between science and art, like your drawings and ideas. Mmm. Anything that kicks down the supposed dichotomy between science and art. I think I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but I think art is useful in sort of like science is kind of like linear, right? Like, but art kind of gives you like you kind of throw a cait, like not a cait, like a fishing line kind of far away into the imagination land, but then like that gives like kind of a bridge to follow. You know what I mean? Like I think art is good for like right, like how many movies have been science fiction that like seemed like wouldn't happen 30 years ago, and now it's like common to have like cell phones, right? Like I think that that's like what art is good at, is sort of like throwing the fishing line out there into the wild, and then like, and now it's like a thing that we can kind of like, as a civilization, like focus on to go into that direction. That's kind of like my thoughts on like art and science. Is like art is sort of helpful to kind of imagineer some stuff that seems kind of far out there, but then like it ends up happening in 30 years, right? So those are my thoughts on that. Dichotomy, equal, two separate things that don't mix. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think like, right, yeah. But those are basically my thoughts on that. I think my chat is glitching up a little bit. Oh no, there it goes. Never mind. Future Oil, good drawing, man. Yeah, I'm gonna continue. This one's going pretty well. I'm gonna continue it slowly, but I might do a painting mini stream. Faro still hanging. It shows your thing over there. But it didn't show it in actual chat. That's weird. It's my chat is glitching up a little bit. But let's see, 3 hours. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go for tonight because I have to go back to work. Like my work from home job. Like I can really only dedicate about 3 hours to this per day. But I gotta head out and get back to doing work. But I super appreciate you guys sticking around and having really good convos today. I didn't know Runner Bean was a scientist. That's crazy. Okie dokie, man. Yeah, I gotta go, but I'll be back and stuff. But yeah, this picture is gonna be neat. I think this is gonna be a neat one. I didn't want to do anything like I just wanted to kind of go back to creatures and stuff. Might stick with creatures for a while. By Mr. Poros. Thank you, Runner Bean. I appreciate you giving me the insights on the science world. And where we're at with that. I guess insulin's still an issue. You know what I mean? That's pretty interesting. Thanks for this stream. Yeah, thank you, Coolio. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, thank you for the raid and everything. Actually, I'll do a raid really quick while we got all these people. Who am I following? Mad Concepts. We got Mad Concepts. Let's do Mad Concepts. He seems to be doing something really cool. Alright, guys. I'm gonna get out of here in 3, 2, 1 right now.